Hello. Just getting live here on a couple of different platforms. Give me a second. Excuse my gardening appearance. I'm in the middle of gardening today. Um, yeah, I didn't think I was going to because it's so cold. I don't know if you're in the Northeast right now, but last night it was almost in the 30s, and this morning it was like low 40s, which feels so cold when you're coming from like summer weather. So yeah, I went to see some live music last night and I froze my butt off. Like legit, my finger. I couldn't feel my fingers or my toes. And ah, anyway, I hope it warms up. It's only supposed to be 60 here today where I am. Now I am on the top of a mountain, so it's always like at least 7 to 10 degrees cooler up here than it is when you go off the mountain. So there is that. So it's nice and perfect down the mountain, probably about 70. So can't really complain about that. But I came home after I do some volunteer work for a community group where I help do gardens in the area. And I just got back from doing some weed whacking around some of the gardens, and I was like, I might as well just keep going. So I just weed whacked all the property, and which is a lot. Um, and my arms are like, you know how your arms feel like rubber kind of after you like hold in the weed whacker for so long. So I'm in to take a break, and normally my dad does all the weed whacking, but I decided to do that today because today's Father's Day. But he's out mowing the grass, and mowing the grass is like so acres and acres of grass. So I don't know how long he'll be out there. So I decided to hop on. I'm sorry I didn't give anybody a heads up because I had no idea what time I was going to be on here. You know, we were going out for breakfast for Father's Day, and I didn't know if we were going to do anything else. So I didn't want to set a specific time. But here I am. I decided to hop on and talk about this week's topic, which is, I'm sorry, I'm a little itchy from like allergies and stuff. I washed my face, but I'm still itchy. Um, this week's topic, which is how to stop judging yourself. And this stemmed from a friend of mine talking about this recently and how women, and she wasn't talking directly to me, she was talking about it on social media somewhere, and how women tend to really, really judge themselves hard. I think men and women both do this. I think just women are more open and talk about it more, but I feel like men might do this just as much. And this is like a really neat little trick. It takes a little bit of work, and I learned this from Jay Shetty in the book Think Like a Monk, which is a great book. I encourage you to read it. And it came out a little while ago. It's not very old, but I usually read books as soon as they come out, and this one I didn't, even though I wanted to. And a friend of mine gave it to me as a gift, so I started reading it, and it's just like gem after gem after gem. And so this was, I thought, a wonderful, very almost kind of, it's not really, passive isn't the right word, but I feel like it's a really easy thing to do to kind of almost retrain your brain. And so I decided to come on here and share this with you. I did write a blog post about it, but I do realize nowadays that people really don't always want to read a blog post, including myself. Sometimes I don't even want to watch a video. It's really funny. I'm like the person, like the hardest person to like kind of create content for. When I read blog posts, I only read the bold print. So that's why when I do a blog post, I put a lot of stuff in bold print because I feel like there's more people like me out there. So anyway, I wanted to do this short video. I try to keep them short so I don't keep you too long with your day. But I'm just going to get right into this really quick little trick, okay? So when you find yourself out and about in your life and you're either, just hanging out with friends or you're at work or wherever, and the conversation starts to turn like negative or like gossipy, like you're talking about somebody or somebody else, and it's not like in a positive way. And so this is the kind of behavior that we want to avoid. But we all do this. Like, I'm not like shaming anybody because I still do this. Like, I catch myself doing this, and the intent is not always harmful, but gossip is just, there's nothing positive about gossip really. And so I'm really trying to get out of this habit. I'm really not terrible. I'm not like the town gossip or anything like that, but I do catch myself doing it still sometimes, and I think it doesn't matter what occasion it is or how horrible you think that person is. This is just not a positive thing to do. And I'll tell you why in a second, and this is a really good way to think about it. So when you find yourself in this situation, you have a choice. You can continue with the conversation and join in, or you could try to change the subject, or you could even walk away from. I'm getting like warnings that my signal isn't good. Well, I hope I'm still live. So you could, like I said, you could change the subject, try to change it to something more positive, or talk about another person in a positive way, or you could just walk away altogether if it's just super negative. And then the next step is what's key. Okay, so whoever this person was that you were talking about, if you took part, you should write 10 things down that are positive and good about that person. Okay, and this is, I think, an old or a Buddhist exercise. Okay, so um, is it Buddhist? Okay, so Jay Shetty was a monk at one point, and so this is one of the things that he learned when he was a monk. And so and so you write 10 things about that person. And what this does is it really kind of shows you that every person has some good in them, okay? And I'm not going to like get deep into all the horrible people in the world, but there's something good in everybody, and trying to find that is a way to retrain your brain into finding the positive all the time instead of always going to the negative, which is kind of what we're trained to do. And just keep doing this over and over again. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, but it's not like coming out. Okay, I think I'm okay. Okay, so and then the key also to this exercise is not just doing this exercise when you're talking about another person, but do this exercise even when you talk about yourself. And so, as I talked about in the beginning, the title of this Self Care Sunday, How to Stop Judging Yourself. So, we have that voice in our head that continuously we constantly talk to ourselves, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, and we don't really pay attention to it. It's really kind of subconscious. And what I wrote in the blog post too was how, um, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I don't know where I went there for a minute. What I wrote in the blog post too is how just being aware of that voice is like the first step because we do it so subconsciously. And this exercise actually brings your awareness into a different place. It'll bring your awareness into the positive. And the more you do this exercise with other people, the better your life will get because you'll stop focusing on the negative when it comes to other people. And then your brain is automatically always going to look for the positive, including in yourself. And so while you're trying to be aware of that voice in your head, that when you talk to yourself and you kind of not talking nice to yourself, whether you're saying, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, or whatever you're telling yourself, oh, I'm so stupid, I shouldn't have done that. I hear people say that a lot. And I'm not saying they actually think they're stupid, but words are powerful. And when you say those words to yourself, they have an effect on you. So I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower. It's like really close. So choosing your words, talking to yourself the same way you would talk to a loved one, the same way you would talk to your children or your significant other or your good friends. You deserve that same wonderful treatment. So try to start talking to yourself that way. But in the meantime, also focus on this exercise and actually write it down because that's part of the process. That's part of really like getting your brain to really think about it and focus on the positive. It's not about saying these things in your head, although I could say any part of this exercise would be positive. If you really want it to work and you really want to start to retrain your brain to think to the positive when it comes to yourself also, which will improve your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-love, then do the exercise for when you talk about others. And then when you notice yourself saying these things, like stop yourself and correct yourself and then write down 10 things about yourself that are wonderful. So try this exercise. If you really want to improve your self-worth, improve your self-love, improve your confidence, if you want to feel more at ease in your body, this is a step that you can take to help with that. And I think it's pretty damn simple. It's a great step, and that's why I wanted to come on here and share that with you. That is this week's Self-Care Sunday tip. Try to do that this week, and if you do it, I really want you to share it with me. I would really get all jazzed up if you did it at least once and shared your experience with me. You could post it right here in the group if you're feeling comfortable, but if not, you could private message me. And also, you can email me at tina@tinastinson.com. I would love to hear from you. Um, Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I hope it's warmer wherever you are. Okay, and I just wanted to share this with you too. I don't get any kickback for this, although I would definitely love to be an affiliate for this business. It's called Worthy Wands, and I do buy these for my clients sometimes. I usually buy the bracelets. They have these little bracelets, and on the bracelets it says I am like I'm enough. Actually, it just says enough, and then it says worthy. It says warrior. I can't remember if there's any other ones, but they have these necklaces. This one is, it says worthy on one side, and then on the other side it says enough. And I like this because this is the name. The name of my program is Aligned and Worthy. That's my deep level self-care practice program that I offer. And so I just got this in the mail the other day and I love it. And it's so cute the way it's delivered, the way she does it. It comes in this little pouch with a little message and it's just so wonderful. So check it out. Like I said, I'm not an affiliate. Maybe someday I will be. But check it out. They're so pretty. I think they're stainless steel. But they also have gold toned ones. They even have like black ones for men. And then I think they actually have like rose gold colored ones. So there's like all different stuff. You gotta go check it out. Okay, I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday and a really great beginning to your next week. Bye.